Welcome back to Touring America. It's been a while since I've brought a video out to you guys, and it's been about 2 months since kind of my post-trip reports have come in, and it's winter here in North America, and the weather's been pretty crappy. We had a cold snap of below zero temperatures, that's Fahrenheit, not centigrade, and really kind of squelched the riding season around here. Then we had some snow, and right now we did have a melt-off. Most of the snow is gone, but it's right around 30 degrees and raining, and it's pretty nasty out. When it's cold out, I've got a lot of other interests. I'm a ham radio operator, I do that. I'm a woodworker, I've built about 80% of the furniture in my house, and I'm also a firearms instructor. So as soon as I got back from that trip, after I put those videos out, the firearm instruction I was very busy for a while, and then it went into making some new furniture for my house. I'll shoot a picture of that in here. If you're into green and green arts and crafts furniture, that's kind of my thing. And then it was Christmas time and all the things that go around that. So I really haven't had a chance to make any videos. So I apologize. Growing the beard in a little bit here, that's a typical winter thing for me, but that'll probably go around, I don't know, February or March, kind of when it's time to come to start putting the helmets back on. It's kind of more of a pain than it's worth. But what we're going to talk about here today is kind of a continuation on what we left off with, which was the whole flat tire scenario situation that we covered with Nebel's bike, and we kind of did the walkthrough on that. And I want to kind of just talk about now is the time to prepare for that stuff. And I'm going to show you a couple things that I've added to my kits to better handle that, and also to get you thinking about the off season. Now is the time to prepare to get ready so that when the good weather comes around, at least in the northern hemisphere. I know I've got a couple of you Australian viewers out there where it's gorgeous there right now. I've been watching your Facebook posts. But the time to get ready is in the off season so that when the nice weather comes, you'll be ready to go. So stick around, we're going to talk about that stuff.
Hey, we're Wires from Greensboro and North Carolina.
So here we are back at the workbench talking about getting your toolkit kind of refreshed and prepared for the riding season. And being January here, I think we're at January 3rd. It's something that I've been thinking about really ever since we had the flat tire back on our trip in October. And I've got up right now this air compressor, and I want to start by talking about the fact that I used to ride with air compressors. Back when I was doing cruisers all the time, I had some of those ultra tiny compressors, specifically meant for motorcycle riders, right? They didn't take up very much space, advertised as very light, all that good stuff that we're looking for as motorcycle riders. And that goes back probably 15 years. And what I found is the one time that I actually had to use it out on the road, it didn't work. I don't know if it's cheaply made or if it got vibrated apart being on the cruiser all the time, but it just didn't hold up over time. And I don't even remember the brands. I had two different ones and they both ended up, just kind of disintegrating. So I had this one that I'd actually bought for one of my cars that I started traveling with. And the obviously downside to this is it's kind of big, right? So here's my hand size, right? It's probably, I don't know, 7-8 inches square by, let's call it 2 to 3 inches thick. Got a pocket in the back here where you can stash the cables and your attachments and all that stuff. And it works pretty well. But it's big, takes up a lot of space in a bag. Weight isn't super critical, but it's large. And what I found is it just wasn't worth it. I stopped carrying it. And instead went to the CO2 systems that I've talked about. And really kind of for two reasons. Obviously the bad experiences I had and not wanting to carry a giant compressor. But the other thing that I have had, and I've not had it happen on motorcycle, but I have it happen on trailers and lawnmowers and things, is when those tires get real low. So if you get a flat and you end up popping that bead off of the rim, a compressor like this does not produce the volume that you need to generate the volume of air to get that tire snap pop back onto that rim. And at least with CO2, you have a chance. That being said, I'm also a big fan of the hairspray and lighter technique. I've used that several times with great success. But the amount of volume you can get out of these is really very low. So I went to the CO2. The downside, of course, to the CO2s are that you can carry only a finite amount of air with you. However many CO2 cartridges, or nitrogen cartridges, if you kind of go that route, you carry with is what you have. When they're gone, and you don't get to pump anymore. Or with an air compressor system, you can just let it run and run and run. And hypothetically, if you and everybody in your riding group runs through a field of broken glass from a car accident or whatever, you could all repair your tires and you could all pump up off the same compressor. So there is a trade-off there. Some of the new ones are actually getting pretty highly reviewed, and I may end up trying some of those, but for now I'm sticking with the CO2. If you've had really good luck with some of the electric pumps, please mention it down in the comments. We'd be interested in hearing which ones you guys are recommending these days. So all that being said, some of the things that I did add to my repertoire since that last incident was the TireTech FlexiPro heavy duty tire pressure gauge. Big 2-inch dial, goes up to 60 psi. And I replaced my stick style, pen style tire pressure gauge with this. The upside to those pen styles is that they're small, right? They don't take up very much room in your luggage. They fit right into a bag or a pouch or whatever that you're using. But they can be hard to get in place, right? It's a kind of a single angle device typically, and they're not known for being the most accurate. They get you in the ballpark, but they're not really pinpoint accurate. The upside to the TireTech or other really kind of higher end gauges is that they have a swivel head on them. They're typically at a 45-degree angle, not a 90 and not straight, right? So it will work well on a variety of air stems, Schrader valves, and they also swivel, right? And without unscrewing. So you can get in there and get at any angle that you need to depending on the bike you've got. You also want a fairly long hose length. This one is about a foot from the gauge to the tip, so your flexible hose is probably about 8 or 9 inches long. Really nice, big, easy to read numbers on the dial. So this one goes up to 60 psi. Make sure you get one that covers the maximum pressure that you want to be able to measure to. I know some of the big heavy trucks can go up higher than that. But for the bikes, I thought this one was fine. Really easy to read. If it's nighttime, the white background is going to make it real easy to see that reflected tire pressure. The other thing it's got a nice rubber armor coating around the edge. So if you drop it, it's not going to break. Right? A really nice feature. Finally, one of the things that can be a real pain with these is, particularly with the stick types, is you need to read the pressure while they're engaged with the Schrader valve. Right? They need to be actively getting air pressure in order for that to be effective. Some of your higher end ones are actually going to have a hold feature. So when I put this on the tire, push it on, right? You'll get the little sound, and the needle will move and it will hold at its highest tire pressure reading. So then I can take it off, pull it closer to my eyes if I need to. These are one of the other things that 2016 brought me, so my eyes don't work as good as they used to. But I can get up there, get it closer to my face, and get an accurate reading on the gauge. And this is marked in 1 psi increments, so you can get it really nice and accurate. So I would really recommend this. I'm going to put a link to this down below. I've been happy with it so far. The other thing I went and did is I purchased a new kit with tire plugs and rubber cement, so that I could replace what I had used. My ones that I had used on the last trip was my last one, so I needed to refresh that. And really, I've not found that one brand is any better than the rest. I've probably patched, I don't know, a couple dozen tires in my lifetime, and I've never had one of these rope type plugs not work well. So I went on to eBay, or not eBay, Amazon, and Just kind of picked up whatever was the cheapest one, and it comes with the tube of rubber cement as well. One of the things that you're going to find now is that once you open up that rubber cement, sometimes if you don't use it for a couple of years, it's going to kind of dry out and get crusty in the tube. You also end up using more than you generally have to. I think we all are kind of paranoid that when we go to put that plug in, we don't want it to leak out, right? So we kind of really goop it all up, and you use quite a bit of rubber cement compared to probably what is actually necessary. So the other thing I did is I went on to Amazon and I bought a 3-pack of rubber cements, and they were ridiculously cheap, right? They were right from China, and so it took like a month to get them here, but I'm in the off season. It didn't matter. I think I paid, I don't know, $2.50 or something for all of them, including shipping. So that way I can have those spares, and if I get on the road and the one that I've used is dried up or used up, I'm going to have some spares. So those are kind of the things that I've done surrounding the preparation for flat tires. If you've got a BMW that has the tire pressure monitoring system, or any bike that's got the tire pressure monitoring system on it, you also want to make sure that from time to time you compare the readings on that system with one from a good mechanical gauge. On my exclusive here, I did that right at the end of the riding season, and they were kind of right on in alignment with each other. But over time, they are electronic and they may vary. So compare them so that you'll know, oh, this one usually reads, a pound or 2 pounds, either higher or lower than the mechanical gauge that I really trust. So that's another great tip for you. So all that being said, let's wrap this video up. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk with you about today regarding getting ready in the off season. If you're anything like me, it's so easy to procrastinate getting ready for that stuff. And then you're getting ready to go out for that first big ride, and you just don't have the things that you should have with you. So think about all this stuff, whether it's your tools, your safety gear, tires. Don't wait till the last minute to get your tires if you need tires coming up in the spring, and even stuff that are consumable items. I put about every third or fourth tank in, I put a bottle of Tech Run into my bike to clean those fuel injectors, that kind of stuff. And it pays to buy that stuff in bulk. Get a case, put it in your cabinet so that it's there when you need to use it. So until next time, make sure you subscribe to the channel, visit us on Facebook. We'll put the links down below in the description area here on YouTube, and keep both wheels down. See you next time.
Down the street, will you take me to get some